Craig, pretty nice way to start the season. You must have been pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, obviously. That scoreline, was surprised everybody, I think. So, but I thought, our guys really prepared well this week. Our last couple of sessions were really good. And, what we planned to do, we've basically done it there, tonight. I think probably one of the biggest things that went in our favour was, the completion rates. I don't think they were very high in their completion rates where, we were pretty good in the first half, but in the second half we were pretty exceptional. And I think, if you're that good with your, ball control this early in the season, I think, that goes a long way to, helping you to get the result that you want.
You must have been pretty happy with the forwards, like the ground through the middle that they made, especially given that some of them, aren't regular or haven't been regular starters.
Yeah, we had, two debutants there tonight, Cooper and Preston. I thought, Preston didn't play a real long time, but, I thought they'd done a really good job. Both really impressive kids, and they work hard. You could see, just in their families, they come down and how excited they were. So, for them being excited like that, to be playing their first game, for the Storm, I think, the boys really, took that on board, and, we're very intent on, playing our best footy tonight. And, we went close to that.
How good is it to have a goal like Harry able to take the game by the scruff of the neck?
Yeah, he did there in the first half. We were happy he did before he broke his leg. But, no, cramp, that's right. No, that's right. That's right. I thought he broke his leg, but so we got him off, but it was only a cramp, so we were very lucky there. No, he done that try. It was the second try we scored there. That was... that was really important to us, and there wouldn't be too many dummy halves score a try in that situation. So, again, I just think with Harry, this season he's just really concentrated on making sure he's playing his best footy, and coming to training and training the best he can, and going on from there. And like I say, he's had one hell of a pre-season, and one hell of a game there tonight.
Despite the scoreline, there was a real physical toll on the team. Obviously, Alec McDonald going out early must have really been a jolt for the team. And then there was another few knocks in that second half.
Yeah, Chin going off, Alec, he, we expect him to play pretty long minutes, to be quite honest, and, he can play long minutes, but he certainly adds some speed to our game, and, to lose him early, was, we didn't expect that, we didn't need that, and we didn't want that, but that's the way it went. But all the other guys that come off the bench, they played their roles really well. Wish went on for a small amount of time in the ruck, and then we brought him off again, to put him back on again. But then that's when Harry got injured, so he went back on and finished the game there. So all the guys on the bench, they've done a great job, and just goes to show, they're prepared to do whatever they need to do to do the job for the team, and I think that was one thing that really stuck out tonight.
Harry, I know that you guys don't really talk about the records and that, but still, it must be nice to sort of keep it rolling on for a 23rd year for your coach.
Yeah, for sure. I think, to be fair, it was probably spoken about a little bit because it was going to be there as a bit of noise and that. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just an outcome of how we perform, how we prepare, and ultimately the work you've done in the pre-season, you get a chance to showcase it. But I think, the playing group really respects it, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of old boys sitting at home watching, knowing that they've contributed to that as a part of the history of the club. Whether you call it a record or a streak, whatever, but there's plenty of people that have played a part in that, and hopefully they can be pretty proud that it's still rolling, and yeah, they've contributed over the years.
Craig, just on Harry Grant's performance, Andrew Voss in commentary described his performance as better than Cameron Smith at his best. How do you see those comparisons?
Yeah, that's a interesting comparison. He's certainly quicker than Cameron Smith at his best, I tell you.
Cameron didn't go for the cramp.
No, I think he broke his leg once. So, like at the end of the day, we're talking about two different players and probably two different eras, and both wonderful players. And I just look back or look forward or whatever, and just think like how fortunate this club's been, or how fortunate for me as a coach to have two guys that touch the ball more than anybody else in the team, and to have Cameron played as long as he did, and then as soon as he retired, Harry come in after, so like I say, the whole club has been very fortunate to have two players like Cameron and Harry.
Craig, you must have been delighted some of your younger brigade tonight with their performances. Stefano, Fiago, and also having players to be able to do what they did. Also, Chan in the game as well was a really good going forward for things. Good prospects. Yeah,
I thought Steph was one of our best tonight. I thought he was tremendous, and as you say, Joey Chan, he had a great second half. I don't know whether he started the game the way we wanted, but he finished the game, like full steam. His last hour of the game was great, and so again, there's been some guys, I suppose, that they got question marks next to their game, but tonight I think a lot of them proved that they're up to first grade, and now they've got to prove that consistently week in week out they can play to that form, and that's going to be the test for us now.
How do you build on the performance like tonight, going to next week, taking on a team like the Dragons?
Yeah, again, it's just we'll have a bit of a rest over the weekend, and then do our review and then go from there. But like I say, it's the big thing about being a good team in this competition is consistency, week in, week out. That's what gets you, get your results in the big games. So at the end of the day, just starting strong and then petering out, that's not going to cut it. So like I say, for us, it's continue to prepare the best we can, and the best way that we think is going to help us, and then go from there.
Right, how did you assess Sua's performance at fullback, and Harry, how did you feel Sua, I suppose, organised you from behind?
Yeah, I think he had a really good performance, and I think the one thing I was pleased with Sua's game, and we were speaking on the run, that he probably didn't get a lot of his natural game on early, but we've seen it come to life at the end there. He probably had involvements in different ways early in the game. He didn't touch the ball as much, and that was just the way that the game went. But I think he was nice and patient and disciplined with his game, and channeled the energy to the right areas and got some rewards at the end there. But I can't speak highly enough of him and the way he sort of attacked his pre-season. Like Craig said, he's seen an opportunity there. He's come in every day with the right mindset, and fingers crossed as a team we can benefit from that. But if he's doing the little things well, bringing effort to his game as a fullback, then that'll set up some of the X factor, or the exciting things that people like to see.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.